Oh, I'm so mad that I just did that. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, they're not emotionally attached to some kid calling them. Remember, you're all emotional, like, oh my gosh, I don't know this lady. She's like, sure, you wore green and silver, right? Cool, get over here, Titans. We love the Titans. You know what I mean? And they're totally cool letting that kid come over that they don't even know who you are. And remember, half the time you can look in the school directory. Remember, if you bring me a high school directory, 16 or a 15, here's one right here. She brought me the Waterford High School directory. I'm going to give you $50 in Cutco. You know why? Because some reps can be like, oh, I went to this school and I don't know anyone from that school. I'm like, oh, really? Because I know your whole school. Here you go. You know what I mean? And the cool thing is, we use these directories like a phone book. When someone in our office doesn't know the kid's mom's number, I'm like, here you go, the kid's mom's numbers, right here. And that's why we want to get those directories, because we do use them for just for that purpose. We don't like, we don't not door. Yeah, no. So yeah, not unless someone refers me to that person and then says they're in that book, I can look them up. You know what I mean? But other than that, we don't, do anything hinky with the directories. We only let reps use them like a phone book. So that's why I have those two cartons full of directories right there for reps when they say, oh, I went to this high school. And then I just pull out, if I have it, I pull out their directory and they can use it. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, back to, calling. So we know that 60% of your calls are going to be people we know. 25% of our calls are going to be people we sort of know. So now you can start calling. Another example is Mission Companions moms. Mission Companions moms. How would you know the mom? That's illegal. You can't know the mom, right? Because you're in a different country or a different part of the country, right? But on the other hand, when you call and say, yeah, I went to California, I'm on a mission with your son. You went to California. They're like freaking out and wanting to show you.
It's a little more emotionally invested.
Yeah, they're like, sure, get over here. I never met you, but you can come over. Okay? And then 10% are going to be calling yeses, and we're not going to teach you that yet until advanced training, which is Wednesday. But you don't have that many yeses. Even if you have yeses, half your yeses from this weekend are people you know. Because people that are this close to you in your circle of influence refer you to people that are this close to you. But when you start seeing people on this edge of your circle, guess what that's going to look like? A whole different circle. And that's when we start calling yeses. But most of your yeses, even if you have a lot of yeses right now, which some do, some don't, most of your yeses are like right inside your circle still. So you could just use the top or the second approach, page 24 or page 32. Hey, you may not remember me, but I was over talking to Sally the other night, and we also used to go to church together, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I don't know, yeah. Well, anyway, what's up? And then you get a demo, right? But your yeses are when you've been referred to someone you've never met, and they said yes. That's a yes, and we call those people once we teach you how. But your job between now and Wednesday is to get a bunch of yeses, which means follow up, which means get better at getting names and getting yeses, okay? And then there's one more approach. 5% of your calls will be people that aren't yeses, but you got their name and number. You got name and number, but not a yes. There's a way to call those people, but they don't expect your call because they're not a yes. Their friend didn't tell them about it, didn't warn them or whatever. So we're going to teach you that approach, but it's a little more difficult. It's a little more, rough water, so to speak, because, you have to they have to believe that you actually saw their friend, because their friend didn't tell them that yet. But we want to try and mostly not, we want to focus on yeses and people you know or sort of know. Yeah, quickly.
Is it more effective to see the people in person to set up a demo or call them? Say you meet them,
like if they show up at the customer's house?
You're like in public, you both happen to be at Albertsons, and you're like, oh, she's one of my yeses.
If you know the phone approach pretty well, you just say the phone approach to them, face to face. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a little more difficult probably when you're a new rep to be able to do that, rattle off the phone approach. But that's kind of what it is. It's pretty much the same thing as a face-to-face conversation, if need be. Okay, cool. All right, and that's an example where they're pretty much in that circle anyway, so you almost don't, you should use the approach so you get in the habit of using the approach, but you can kind of set it up.
Yeah.
You're a sharp person, you know what I mean? So nothing too big, not too difficult. All right, the last thing about phoning, and then we'll get into how to turn those small sales into sales and how to turn the no sales into sales, is how to handle the objections on the phone. Okay, so I've got a handout for you. Okay, how to handle the objections on the phone. This is like a 2.0 version of the bottom of page 24. A 2.0 version of the bottom of page 24. For example, they say, I've heard of Cutco or I've never heard of Cutco. These are the exact same, almost, look at me, almost the exact same word-for-word answers what's at the bottom of page 24. It's just that we add in a couple phrases like squeeze me in. If you don't notice, squeeze me in is here, squeeze me in is here, squeeze me in is here, squeeze me in is here. So there's when you say, could you squeeze me in, they're like, oh my goodness, I'll squeeze you in anytime. See, squeezing me in is a Jedi phrase that helps customers feel value in letting you come over. Yeah, these are not the droids you're looking for exactly, right? It just kind of helps them feel more comfortable. But I want you to circle these two paragraphs. The one that's the most money making is the I'm busy paragraph. Okay, I'm busy. Okay, when you say I'm busy, you say, hey, I totally know what you mean. I'm running around like a head with my chicken cut off these next couple of weeks trying to win this contest, and I've really got to get 12 demos by Monday. Remember that deadline? The goal and the deadline matter. So I need to get 14 by Tuesday or 6 by tomorrow or whatever it is.
A new goal every week.
A new goal every 3 days.
Every 3 days.
Never set a demo. I would never say Monday unless it's like Friday or Thursday night like it was for you guys. Mm-hmm. So if it's tonight phone calls, I'm going to say by Wednesday. I need to get 6 more appointments by Wednesday. If it's less than 48 or 72 hours in advance, it's more likely that they set, and it's more likely that they feel the urgency and the importance and they don't ditch you. If you say, I'll come over next Saturday, dude, that's like 5 days away from now. Something's going to come up for me. Something's going to come up for you. I'm going to ditch you. Okay? But within 36 or 72 hours, I'm going to always never set a demo more than 3 days out, even 2 days out. And that's why you say, could you squeeze me in at this time, or would this time be better? So the I'm busy paragraph, isn't that the objection you got the most anyway already? And then the other one is when they already own or have heard of Cutco. I've already heard of Cutco. I've got too much Cutco, right? So the bottom paragraph. So everyone circle the bottom paragraph where it says, oh, great, your opinion would totally help me out, and I'm a heck of a lot funnier than the last rep who showed it to you. And that just makes you funny for saying that, you know what I mean? And they're entertained already. So plus, I get paid to show it, and I need to get 12 appointments before Friday or 6 before tomorrow, and I really appreciate your help on this. Could you squeeze me in at this day, at this time, or this time? Which would be better for you? So we always offer a choice of what? 2 times. So the way I think about any time you handle objections, it's basically giving a goal and a deadline. 6 by tomorrow, 10 by Wednesday, or whatever the number and the time is, the deadline. So it's a goal and a deadline, and then I always add squeeze me in, could you squeeze me in, and then this time or this time. So Tuesday at 4, or would 5:30 be better? Remember, that's why you got to have your schedule already made in advance too. Have your schedule made so you can give them specific times. When you say, is there a time that would work, you think you're being polite and you're basically making yourself get ditched. If you say, is there a time that would work? Any time would work for you. Any time would work for me. Well, that tells me that you don't have any other things pressing. So if I ditch you because I have things pressing me, it won't matter to you because you have nothing pressing you. So you got to say this time or this time, in a deadline, because then it's like, I really need these appointments and they won't ditch you. There's a reason we put every word in this page 24 or 32, and then handling the objections with this sheet. There's a reason why these phrases exist. I'm not going into every single word right now and dissecting them, but you would use it behooves you, it's expedient unto you to use these responses. Does that make sense? All right, so that's handling objections on the phone and making sure you get more demos. Remember, more important than how good you are at selling is getting more what? Demos. Really quickly on your schedule, if you're in school, which 2 of the 3 of you are, right? Man, weekends are where it's at. You just got to focus on weekends. And then squeeze in 1, squeeze in 2, try to get a couple here or there. Because if you do, then your 1 or 2 extra demos over the course of a week might be 4 extra demos. That might be an extra $1,000 in sales. That might actually be an extra prize in your fast start. It might be an extra $200 or $300 in income in your first 10 days because you're at the higher percentage. But remember, weekends are the most important thing. If you're in school, just focus the most as you can on the weekends and then squeeze in a couple demos or throughout the week, depending on how much schooling you're really going through and what midterms you have and all this other stuff. Nate, come in. Okay? If you're ever in the office and I'm in the office, you should be on my hip right there, whatever, or watching these guys, and that's okay. Mom and Dad, that's what I told you. So after you've done that, from now on, okay. So good. All right. Next thing I want to teach you is how to turn the no sales into sales and how to turn the small sales into big sales, and that is with the bonus points system. So you know how you called in this weekend and like got permission to give what we did with your signature set? It was like special setup thing, you know, or whatever, right? It's the same thing still, where we're never going to tell you not to call in, ever. But this is going to be a situation where you can now do it yourself. Oh, man. Okay, let's see if that works. Yes. Okay, so, and okay, for noise sake, this is how when you called me on the signature set sale, and how we changed the free stuff. This is how we changed the free stuff and gave a slicer for free on the studio set instead of the shears.
No, it's on Petite Chef.
Yeah, on the studio set. So this is how we figure out deals without calling the manager, and this is how the manager figures it out when you do call. Okay, and if you can master this, you can turn a no sale into a sale by giving us better value where they decide to throw down. Okay, and it also means they throw down a bigger amount of money because you hook them up fatter with a sweeter deal, right? For example, there's a medical, I had throat surgery and I get a $600 bill and they wanted to put a fee on it. I'm like, well, what if I just, because it was on like, they set it up on payments for some reason or whatever, it was over the deductible, I don't even know. My wife does it all on that stuff. But I was like, well, what if we just pay for it? Can we just eliminate this $75 fee? Or they're like, yeah, I guess. I'm like, great. So it was a better deal. So I paid for it all versus I don't want to pay $600. I'll just do it on payments. But in this case, there was interest and fees. I'm like, no, screw that. I'll just pay for it. Because there was a better deal, so I threw down $600 versus what was going to be like $100. And that's an example that doesn't apply to Cutco because there's interest and fees and other things. In Cutco, there's no interest or fees, so it's better to do payment plans for the customer. However, it's also better when they get a sweeter deal because of the bonus points rule. See how it says bonus points? And it's a very simple rule. Every $100 that they purchase, that you can give in the box 20 points for free. Remember a couple times I was like, hey, give whatever worth 100 points. Remember you guys called me? I remember at least 3 times this happened. I was like, whatever's worth about 100 points or whatever's worth about 120 points or something like that, I kind of said that to you, and you were kind of, okay. Remember, at the bottom of the page it says, don't tell your customer about the bonus points rule, because then they're just going to what? Take everything, yeah, and your commission goes, right? But you want to give the right thing for free. In 1998, I bought a Honda Accord. It was $13,000 or whatever it was. It was leather. It was pretty sweet for the day, And I bought it this certain weekend where they were giving away a 2-night stay at Sundance Resort, not the film festival in Park City, but in the nice Sundance Resort down Provo Canyon. And we stayed in this log cabin. It was sick. It was 2 nights, and they gave us free food. And I was like, I'll buy a car for that. The next week, and it was like a $300-400 package of what you got. And the next week they gave away something else that was $300-400. But I wanted that, so I bought the car that week. It wasn't the dollar amount, it was the fact that that thing was free. So when you change that studio set from scissors for free then to a Petite Chef for free, boom, sale. Because we changed the value by giving what they really wanted the most. And this bonus points rule helps you change the value. Let me be clear in saying that this rule is the gospel of the first call special. In other words, everything in the manual, you can now forget it when it comes to free stuff. Like, you know how the homemaker, they get what for free?
They get
2 things. Scissors and tools or entertainer packing tools. On the galley, it's what? Only 1. Any of the 3, but it's only 1. Starter sets, it's only the what? Shears. Guess what? That's all bullcrap. Now, it isn't, but all of those combinations work following this rule, but you can now forget those things because you can change and give other things for free because you know the gospel of the first call special now. And the gospel of the first call special is 20 to 25 points. So in the little asterisk, it says, on occasion, you may give 25 points. So I'll give you one example of 25 points. The least expensive starter set is like $380 or something, right? So 20 points per 100 means that's a little less than 400. So how many points could you give? A little less than 80. Well, the scissors are 75 points. So that's why we can stretch it to 80, or stretch it to 25 points per 100 if we have to. On the $200 like list, I don't care what it is. If it's $200, about how much can you give for free? 40 points. 20 points times 200. 20 times 2 is 40. So that's about, if you have to stretch it to 50, you might be able to give a cheese knife or something different, right? So whatever it is, but you can stretch it. Example, a galley plus 6 is 874. So that's 800-ish. 20 points means how many total points? 160 points. But wait a minute, the scissors are 75, the tools are 100. Without the holder, without the potato masher. 100 points, 175 points with the scissors. 175 points on a galley plus 6. But remember, 874 could be pushed up to what? 900, which means I can give 180. So on a galley plus 6 to your grandma tonight. Wait a minute. In the book it says only one. But now you know this rule. If someone tonight really is close, on the edge of buying the galley plus 6, I'm going to tell you right now, dude, hook it up. Give the both scissors and tools and get a galley plus 6 sale rather than dropping down to a small set. What if they're on a homie and they're really close and you're already given two things? But on a homie it's 1,200, right? So how many points could you get? 240. 240, the scissors and tools are only 180-ish. So that means you got a little bit of room if someone's thinking on the edge of a homie, throwing a cheese knife, bam, touchdown. Right? Is this not what I did with your signature set? Mm-hmm. I went, hey, Homemaker's cool, but let's just give a sweet deal on the signature. Were they sad that they bought it, or were they jacked?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're pretty excited, right? They got the garden tools. You're like, I don't know, I was so nervous. Okay, but the garden tools, right? They didn't get them for free. They added the garden tools. And remember, I even said, hey, you love these people, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, yeah. I go, tell you what, they're buying the garden tools. We're throwing in another garden can opener for free too. And you're like, oh. And by the way, when you went, oh, what did the customer do? What? So sometimes still calling in, if this rule, who thinks this rule sounds pretty awesome? It's like, oh, cool, man. But what if you forget? You ever go to math class and your teacher does this awesome math on the board and you're like, totally, I got this. You go home and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing, right? If this sounds good now and you go home on a demo tonight and you're like, oh crap, I forget everything Phil just said. I don't know how to do this. What do? Call just like you did before. If you forget everything I tell you today, you can still call in. But now, just in case you don't get a hold of us, you understand the bonus points rule. Here's another example. Buy two, get one free. Remember, that's the last like list special, page 12? Well, now, wait a minute. Some of those pieces are $100 by themselves. Right? Didn't I tell one of you, buy a chef's knife, you can get a tray for free? That was you. Buy a chef's knife, we'll give a tray for free. Something like that. Yeah, because you don't have to buy two. As long as the points were small enough, which the trays are like real small in points, I'm like, yeah, it's $100. We can give the tray for free. And that's how we did that sale, right? So even on a little order, you can use it to, instead of selling one knife, you can sell two and get something for free. Or sometimes you might just sell one knife. It's a fairly higher end or higher priced knife. You can give something for free, and it's a buy one, get one free. That's pretty cool.
So you can...
Not the same. Yeah, those four. Yeah, I'm talking about one of them. The smallest one is buy two. Yeah, but now it doesn't have to be a buy two, get one. Get the scoop. It could be a buy one thing, get a scoop for free. It could be buy a K-bar and get a pocket knife for free. Because the K-bar is $200. Pocket knife's like 40 points. So you could actually do that. It's a points rule. And it's very simple. 20 points per $100 spent. maybe 25 we have to push the rule. Can you read the paragraph right there? We only got a limited amount of time, but go ahead. Bonus points
allow
allowed.
you to offer
Yes.
items other than kitchen tools and super shears as a first call special. You do not have to use all of your bonus points each time. The key is effective use of them. You can give people exactly what they want, provided you follow your bonus points guide.
And what are the bonus point guidelines?
20 for
100.
Actually, yes, but what's the rules? Number one rule, fill it in. Only give bonus points on the what? Primera visita, right? First visit. First visit only. And the second rule has got to be what?
more than 100.
$100. It's got to be $100.
So no bonus points on an $85 order.
Right. But that's so easy because you just say, hey, why don't you just buy one more thing? I'll give you this for free. They're like, yeah, you're right. No, we'll do that. Well, that's a better deal. I don't want to buy one thing. What's that?
Easy way to push it up.
So it turns a small sale into a big sale. And if you give a sweet deal, doesn't it turn a no sale into a sale? Right? The bonus points is where it's at. In fact, what's number one? Turn no sales into sales by giving customers incentive to order today. A sale today is always better than a promise order for later. Put this in the margin right there. Promise orders equal never orders. Promise orders are never orders. Even if they have the best intentions, I don't want to keep your recommendations book. Almost forgot. Even if they have the best intentions while you're there, when you're there, where's the value? Where's the value while you're there? Through the roof, right? But as you leave and they don't buy, where's the value going?
Down.
Yeah. So then you call them, oh yeah, you said you were going to buy later? Yeah, what was it? Oh, nice. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, no, we got too much going on because the value went out the door with you. That's why you get a sale today. And then they have value. By the way, if they buy one knife or buy 3 knives and get a good deal and something for free, what are they likely to do in a month or 2 months or
Buy
3?
more.
Yeah, they're addicted. They're fired up about it. Once someone gets their first Apple device, it's almost indubitably, and they're going to get more. Right? You know, once they buy a certain pair of shoes, like I'm a Nike guy, so I buy everything Nike. You know, I got a pair of soccer shorts on Saturday because my other ones ripped and they were Adidas. And I was like, I'm an idiot. But the only shorts they had at 9:15 at night was the Adidas that were left. So I wasn't buying Nike this time, you know. But you get it. And the number 2 point, I'm not going to go through all the blanks right now. Increase your average order size, thus your income. Because if you give a better deal on the bigger sets, you're going to make more money. And if you turn the small sales into big sales, you make more money by giving a better deal. Right? We gave a better deal on the signature, and they said, let's get a signature instead of a homie.
Mm-hmm.
And they're never going to regret it. You know what I mean? That's freaking cool. They get the cheese knife, the scissors in the set, the Petite Santoku, the Hardy Slicer. Those are the pieces that Cutco owners who had homemakers added. They always add those pieces. So that's why we made the signature set. So that's going to be awesome. And more table knives. Like, who doesn't need that?
Yeah.
Everybody needs more table knives. Last thing, I'm going to give it to you, and if you absolutely have to jet, cool. Otherwise, we're done in 10 minutes. Okay?
Yeah, I got
so
it. I got
if
you
it's
going.
if that's the situation, okay? So here we go. Oh, flip it over. Don't look at it. Just don't look at it. Cover it up. Okay? You can just go. Okay? Make sure you get any supplies you need. Okay, Noah. And nice job.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
And maybe try to get that extra demo tonight
For sure.
if you can, because I know you got school, but try to get that one because if you bump over that $3,000 mark, you'll get a $400 check, 2 pay raises at the team meeting, and you get to sign the door, you know, the office. So marker it up, graffiti,
Cool.
baby. So, and we'll sign the other stuff on Wednesday, I think too. So, but great job. Okay, all right. So who's ever bought a car? Okay, who's ever watched mom or dad buy a car? Right? What do people do with their old car? They sell it and then take money and what? Buy a new car with their down payment money from the sale. Or they what? Trade it in. And don't you get a pretty good value when you trade in a car? Like it's worth $2,000. If they offer you $3,000 or more, you're fired up, right? Okay. Take care of them, man.
Thanks.
Get a brownie. Okay.
Sure.
They're pretty fired up when they, if the dealer gives the customer a better trade-in value than the worth, yeah, help them, dude. Don't sit there. Okay. All right. You guys got. Okay. All right. If your car's worth $2,000 and he offers you $1,000, what are you gonna say? See ya. Right? But if it's worth $2,000 and he gives you $3,000, you bet you're pretty stoked, right? So you're buying a sale. He guarantees himself a sale, and you guarantee a better value. So what if I told you that you could have your customer trade in some knives?
Oh yeah.
What? Who told you this?
I think it was
Give me a brownie, dude. I want a brownie. Okay, please.
I
Um,
think it was just-
Dude.
someone told me
So
that.
he let the cat out of the bag?
I think it might have not been him, but
It's okay.
I might
You
have
heard
been
something
him.
about it.
Someone said
Little
I
secret.
traded him
Okay.
away.
All right. Cool. That's awesome. You got that. I've had trainees on accident sell one of this. The first weekend too. All right. Well, have a brownie. You're awesome. Okay. What'd you guys do to get brownies?
She promised us, and then she never brought it in. So at least
Oh.
Chelsea's-
She promised for day 2,
Yeah.
and then so she's fulfilling her promise. Okay, that's cool. Cool. These are good brownies, like Mama used to make. All right. So what do you think this will do for your customers if you can give them a trade? Can you grab some napkins in the kitchen? Yeah. And I'm gonna have another brownie too. All right. Did you get one or no?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, he can get, yeah.
I'm gonna get one.
All right. They're nice and mushy. Love it.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dig in. He'll bring you the napkin. All right. Sorry, I just got so excited about the brownies for a minute that I just totally ruined the momentum of advanced training. But so, what if they traded in some knives and people buy more sets? This would turn your small sales into, it would turn your studio set into a galley. No joke. Because the value shoots up when you give them a better trade-in. And there's something called, when it comes to making a sale, there's emotional reasons to buy and there's logical reasons to buy. People buy on emotion, but they justify with logic. So when I buy a car, it's okay for me to buy a car in America because I'm getting rid of my old car. And I'm getting a good value for my trade-in, but now I'm going to put myself into a big interest-bearing loan. But it's okay, and people do it all the time. I'm not saying it's a sin. I'm saying people sometimes do this, right? And there's emotional reasons to buy and logical. So grab a few in the bathroom really fast. Just grab like 10, but bring 3 in here. Thank you. All right. So when I can trade in my car, there's a reason to buy. If I can trade in my phone, there's a reason to buy a new phone. You guys know even Apple does this, right? You can trade in your old phone and you can get money towards your new phone, okay? So people find a reason why to do it, and they're fired up about it, and they get a purchase. Well, guess what? Customers can trade in their old nasty knives, and you can give them a discount on the Homemaker or some other sets. All in favor? Okay. So read along with me. I want to explain. Go to the side that says trade-in special. Trade-in special. You're right. And why don't you read the first paragraph there, if you would, Oscar? It says the secret weapon
Our
is.
secret weapon is the trade-in special. It is a program where the customer can get a tremendous discount by trading in some of their old knives. This appeals to customers who feel that either the price is too high or that the knives that they have are good enough.
Who heard that? Too much, or we could live with what we got. Everybody, right? So then you're going to say what's in the next paragraph. So why don't you go and say that real quick, Devin?
Mrs. Jones, do you have some old knives that you don't like?
Yeah, I have every knife that I don't like, thanks to your demo.
We have a special program that we are offering called the trade-in special. Now I can give you.
Underline can't.
Now I can't.
I can't give you the stuff for free. So whatever was going to be free on the Homie is now not free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can't give the scissors, can't give the tools. Whatever was going to be free, you can't give for free anymore. Okay? But what?
But what I can do is take off $214.
What?
If you trade in at least one old knife.
What?
So instead of paying $1,149,
$212. Make it say $12.25.
$1,212. That would make your set only
$9.98.
$9.98.
Shut the front door.
And the 20% deposit is
$215.
$215. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty freaking awesome. Why don't you teach me this on Friday, Phil? Right? Like, this is awesome, isn't it? Okay. So they can get $200 and some odd off the set by trading in their old knives. That's ridiculous, right? And they're fired up about it, and you're giving them a sweet deal, okay? So essentially, yeah, take a napkin. You want to dish up a couple? Okay? And let me go ahead and, someone left it on there. Remember that it was the trade. You guys see where it says trade? Right? So let me just redefine. What we used to do looked like this, right? In green.
Yeah.
Okay? What was on the top? Homie. What was on the second step? Galley. What was the third step? Starters. And then we have the what? Like list, right? And then we have the small pieces, right? 1-piece orders and 3-piece orders. So what we're doing now is what is left here in permanent marker almost is a what? Trade-in special, trade-in special, trade-in special. Well, let me just point out, when you were a little kid, walking down the stairs was kind of risky. How come? The stairs were huge. They were up to your waist, right? And then you got bigger, and now it's easy. You can walk downstairs blindfolded, right? Well, why is it easier for you to walk downstairs now?
Because you're bigger.
Switch it now perspective-wise. You're bigger, switch it perspective-wise. Stairs got smaller. So we add a couple steps in there between the homie and the galley, or a step between the homie and the galley, and now it's easier for the customer to rationalize with logic the purchase when they can give you old knives and you're going to give them $200. What'd they pay for those knives? Full price, $80, right? At Target or stupid infomercial or whatever. They paid full price, and now they're like, right? What the heck just happened? Okay, good. They're fired up when they can give a good deal. By the way, they're going to give you like their Reesty Nasty knives. They have 100 of them. You take 97. Okay, let them live on the 3 best, worst knives they have. But the more knives they give you, you should take them. It does not change the discount at all. But when I can unload a drawer of crap on you, and you're giving me $200, I'll take it. I'll give it. I'll give you all I can give you. You got to get at least one junk knife. And by the way, they're going to ask, well, what are you going to do with my knife? What do you mean? I'm going to make fun of it. Really? Okay. Because it's horrible. Take it. It's nasty. They're totally glad to give you their knives. They're not like wishing they could keep them. Right? They're getting cut. So take every knife they'll give you, whether they give you 1 or 21 or 41. It's the same discount. It's just more justifiable in their mind, because they can buy based on the emotion of I want the knives today, and they will get the value of the knives, but they can justify a lot with that logic of I can get rid of all this crap. You know what I mean? Is everyone pretty clear on that? Okay, so notice a couple of things about the sheet. First thing is what sets...
You're missing office key on the 82 side.
Okay, so you have to do this. Okay, I'll take care of it. Never mind. You're great.
I can
Thank
put it
you.
there if you want.
Yeah.
I just
Do
figured you'd want your
put this
key back.
put this on that. Thank you. You're awesome. Okay. All right. Are we clear? So they trade in their old nasty knife, and you give them $200 off. They give you 40 knives or 20 knives. As I was saying when we were interrupted, the homemaker plus 8. Look at down below the homie. They can do the galley plus 6. They can do what? The essentials plus 5, and they can do the what?
Studio.
Now look above. They can actually do it on the what and the what? Signature and the ultimate. So let me clarify. Don't you take your sheet right now, look at me, and go sideways. On that margin is the top of the sheet. So it says signature and homie right there. It's only sets that have table knives. So everyone right on the edge of the sheet, table knife sets are the only ones you can do the trade-in on.
Okay, so not essential.
Not the basic, not the space saver, not the studio set, but all along that margin, just write table knife sets only. Those are the only sets you can do this trade-in special on. Okay, trade-in special only works for table knife sets. Okay, table knife sets only. Okay, all right. So I asked Sylvia to have you guys do this, so I'm just going to ask you. So in case she forgets, would you guys make that room look way nicer than it does right now? Because after the meeting Saturday it was really trash. Okay, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. And Mimi can help or whatever. Okay. All right. So, any questions on that part? It's table knife sets only. So if they want the basic galley, can't do the trade-in. But let's be realistic. Does anyone not want the table knives?
No.
Everybody wants to be as well. They say, "Can I just get table knives? Can I just get those?" That's awesome. Whenever they ask you that in the middle, you're like, no, wait. No, you should be like, yeah. You should be thinking, sweet. They want to buy those already, which is going to make the easier because I can do the trade-in. So I'm like, when they ask me if they can just get the table knives, I'm like, sure, we'll figure it out in a minute. I don't stress out about it. I go, you can get whatever you want today, but my job is to show you all the options. Trust me, they want the homemaker when they see it, right? But that's why we make the price different when we do the trade-in. $200 off. It's pretty sweet, right? It's like $50 a month off. Okay? Now, we did the margins right here. Now flip it 180 degrees and write just copy off this page. Just copy off this box. Just copy off these boxes. All they got to do is copy off these boxes, and that's how to write up the order. So you write that down, right? Just copy. Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now let's just review. Here's the homemaker. What's the normal price? $12.12. What's the savings?
214.
Well, the price is $9.98 for the trade-in. Savings $214. Thank you, Oscar. Notice I put the 2 months, 3 months, 5 months right there for you. So you got the 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. Now look over here. It says how to write it up. So notice what you do. You write it up as a basic homie. You with me? You write it up as a basic homie. Okay? And then you put a C for the color or a W for the color. And then a B. Now, by the way, this is how I helped him do his signature set. But anyway, that's another story. The B makes them, remember, they're buying a what set? Basic. But we do the B, which makes the block turn into a +8 block. So they bought the basic set with too many slots in the block. Same piece of wood. It doesn't cost us anything to switch the block. But then they get what? They buy one more what? Table knife and get 7 for free. So what comes in the package? Homemaker plus 8. What did they buy? Homemaker plus 1. And listen closely. Instead of scissors, instead of tools, what are we giving instead? Table knives. The table knives are the free stuff. In other words, the table knives are taking away the bonus points.
Okay, so
Because we're just giving something else. Instead of scissors, instead of tools, we just give the table knife. So this is another pretty version of the bonus points rule that we taught you a minute ago. So this is just a pretty version of this, just like in the manual. Those deals that are in the manual are just a pretty version of the bonus points. You know what I mean? This is just a pretty package version of the bonus points that instead of scissors, instead of tools, we give table knives. So underline the very, very, very bottom on la izquierda, left sentence. Read the very, very bottom. Read it out loud, Oscar. Do not.
do not give first call special with the trade-in.
So if you do the trade-in tonight, you can't do scissors because the trade-in takes away those points because they were doing the 7 table knives, 154 points. Right? Question.
I have 2 questions.
Yep.
1, what about a virtual demo?
So when they want to do a trade-in on a virtual,
Yes.
have them Google image of junk knife and send you an email of the junk knife. That's just for fun.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need the junk knives. When you get a junk knife from your grandma tonight, literally go home, throw it away. Go to DI. If she asks you what are you going to do with it, oh, I'm just going to make fun of it in training. Or, you know what, some of our reps carry junk knives with them, and they show the customer wood handles. They show plastic handles. They show crappy knives that are rusted and broken and chipped and melted. So it's not a bad idea to have some crappy knives. And it's funny because you're like, oh, here's Nancy's knives. She's like, how do you have Nancy's knives? I'll get to that in a minute. Okay? Right? And so, anyway, it doesn't matter what you do with the junk knives. We don't need them. I don't need them. You don't need to bring them to me. You can keep them. Or don't keep them. You can bring them here. We'll use them at some point. You know what I mean? Or you can just drop them off at DI or whatever. And they're like fired up to get rid of their junk knives. Capiche? It's pretty sweet, isn't it? So again, you can go homemaker to the homemaker trade-in. You can go galley to the galley trade-in. You can go starter set, if it's a +4 or +5 set, to the starter trade-in. And you can even do it. Now on the Ultimate and the Signature, no, they don't have to buy the table knife. On the Ultimate and the Signature, they just get all of them for free. But on the Homemaker down, it needs to be a buy one. So it's a Homemaker +1, and then get the 7 for free. Or it's a Galley +1, and get the rest for free. So the Idiot's Guide, like the Idiot's Guide, the yellow book that they used to do on the, Idiot's Guide to whatever. Yeah, the Idiot's Guide to the Trade-In Special is they buy a basic set plus one and get what for free? The rest. Buy a basic set plus one and get the rest for free. And that will always follow the bonus points rule. It always stays within the limit on the free stuff because we're given just enough free stuff to stay within the points rule. Is that pretty clear on the trade-in?
Yeah.
Remember, the key to selling is dropping down slowly. Remember, by throwing in a couple extra options, it lets the process what? Slow down and sink in, slow down. So they think of the homemaker, think a little more, show the trade-in. They're like, oh, maybe I can do the trade. And if they don't buy the homemaker and the trade-in, when you go to the galley, they're already like thinking, can we do the trade-in? And it's easy to sell a galley trade-in. So it doesn't just sell a homie trade-in with the trade-in. The trade-in, when you do it slowly on the homie and really show the options, and then you go to the galley, then you go to the starters, man, you're in good shape. It's pretty sweet.
I had known that last night.
Yeah, this would have hurt this weekend, Phil. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Happens every weekend. But that's why we let you teach it, or we teach it to you as soon as possible after your first weekend. And the more demos you've done up until now, the more mad you are right now, but the more you get it. If someone's done 2 demos, they're like, what? Huh? Right? But when you've done 5, 8, 10 demos now, you really start to say, this is going to be awesome. So here's what you can do, though, Oscar. If you've already shown someone and you think this would totally seal the deal, then go see them for 10 minutes. And say, Aunt Betty, I got to come over. She's like, why? I forgot something. You forgot to tell them this because you didn't know it. Or you can say, I learned something in my meeting today that I have to show you. I thought of you immediately when I learned this. And you go over there for 10 minutes and maybe you sell it. If you don't worry about it. If they've already bought, call me. Call the assistants. We'll show you how. The easiest thing is usually just call field service and say, hey, I'm with my aunt. She just bought this and I rolloed it, but she wants to upgrade her order. And she just calls the company and upgrades. And they say, okay, so we have your permission to charge you more. They want to make sure there's nothing like dishonest. But that's what you do. If you think this would totally work with someone, just set up a 5-minute, 10-minute appointment tonight and take it back to them. And just say, I got to teach you something. I got to show you something because I just learned it today in advanced training. It's going to melt your face. Okay? And they're like, okay. They're usually cool with it. It won't happen necessarily, but if it does, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. If they already bought a +8, why is it better for them to have bought a +8 and not done the trade-in? What? Well, it's better for you because you make more money. But why is it better for them? Scissors and tools. Like they're not going to use spoons till they die. Like they're not going to use free scissors forever. They'll use those things more than the knives. In reality, they might use the spoons and knives every meal, and the knives are only certain meals. Right? So trust me, they're going to use those free things. I never want to do the trade-in over the normal price because they lose all the free stuff. And I'd rather give a way good deal on free stuff than have to go down to a trade-in. But I'd rather sell a trade-in on a homie than go to a galley.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you going to say?
The way you would do it is you say the homie, and then the next step down instead of going to the galley is the trade-in.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you go to the galley, and then you go to the trade-in. And then you go to the starters and kind of the same thing. You could take knives from anybody. I mean, you could do a like list and say, if you buy this today and give me some crappy knives, I'll give you this for free, the thing you were going to give them. But they feel glad to, like, you might make sales just because you're the junk knife depository. They're like, sure, here's all my junk knives. I'll buy more Cutco because I'll give you my crappy knives. Remember, they justify with logic. They buy because they want it and they know they're going to need it and they love it and they use it. But they're justifying when they can get rid of their crap co. So, I mean, people do that with all sorts of things. Cool. Any questions? Oh, you guys ready to crush it? Dude. And you got 2 tonight?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Now, if you don't sell a trade-in, does that matter? No. But the process of dropping down just became what?
Easy.
Even more slow, even more comfortable, throwing out the options. And remember, when they start devising ways to buy, like they don't buy the homie trade-in, but then they're like, I want the galley trade-in. If they're devising, like I'm going to ask this kid about the trade-in on the starter set. They're arguing for buying. Easy sale, man. No pressure whatsoever. These options make it so much more comfortable, don't they? Right? Okay. So what we usually do at this point is we spend some time role playing the drop down with the trade in. Right? For time's sake, I've been recording. If I didn't, I just want to make sure that these guys see it. But I just want to make sure that you guys understand the drop down is full set, +8, trade in, and then the guy +6, and then the trade in, and moving down that way. And again, it makes them find ways to make the value more by getting rid of their old stuff, and it makes it easier for them to buy. Funny thing is, sometimes you'll just sell a guy +6 with full price because they're like, no, let's not do the trade in. We want the free stuff. And they might just go ahead and buy the bigger, the more expensive option because the value's still there. Heck, they can still turn in their crap go to you if they want, even still. All right, so let's review assignments just really quickly. Go to the very last inside page of your manual where it says Advanced Training Assignments, page 41, I think it is, at the very back inside cover. Advanced Training Assignments, okay? First thing I want to make sure you guys are doing is studying page 8, 9, 15. Study page 8, 9, and 15. Right, that's where you want to know the numbers or the script really well. So study page 8, 9, and 15. Number 2 is make sure you're on the phone tonight. Monday night, everybody's home. Right? Don't care their religion. Mondays, there's less soccer, less dance lessons, less everything on Monday night because it's like the night after the weekend. So the work week just got started, the school week just got started. So you find most people home on a Monday night. Even if they have a family activity on Monday nights, trust me, they're not doing it from 7 p.m. to midnight or 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can call people. If they don't answer at 7, you can call them at 8, call them at 8:30, 9, 9:30. Okay, so keep calling the rest of your top 10. So write that down as a separate assignment, is call your top 10 specifically. Don't just do phone time, but call your top 10 customers. You got to focus on your best people because they're going to give you the best what? Sales, but the best referrals, right? It's not just about what you sell; it's about what you get to build your business with, right? So get those referrals. Also, if you haven't done a virtual demo, get that virtual demo sale so you can win the stainless steel table knife, right? It's anybody that if they're in town, show them rope and leather, do the demo in their home. But if they live more than an hour away, or you don't want to drive there, whether they live states away or hours away, make sure you get a virtual demo sale so you can win that stainless steel table knife. Okay, so get a virtual demo sale. Yeah.
So, question: in one of my demos tonight, I'm aware that my aunt Laura, who's in Mexico, is staying at my aunt Carrie's.
Yeah.
I'm going to
So if they're from a different town, they have to. American orders need to be purchased with American money, American banks, shipped to an American address because of an international trade laws.
Well, no, they'll pay with it.
Right, and then to ship it to Mexico, you got to ship it to America. Then you got to ship it again, and then they don't care.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Or
I
whatever.
just wanted to make sure because you said that there's no group demos.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make
Yeah, I would do them separate.
sure.
To answer that question,
Just,
let them you do it in one room,
okay.
and then
Just
they
have that
walk
person.
out, and then you do the next demo, same room. You're just stay planted. The reason why group demos are never good is because one customer goes, "Oh, I wouldn't use the butcher knife," and then everyone else is like, "Oh yeah, me neither. I wouldn't use the butcher knife either." And more often that happens than, "Oh yeah, buy the homemaker. Oh, I'll buy the homemaker. Okay, I'll buy the homemaker." The odds of that happening are way less compared to, "I don't know if I'd use that knife," and then everyone else kind of says, "Yeah, me too." And we want the customer to make their own decision, not their friends or their neighbor's decision. So that's why you do them separately. Plus you get paid more. Okay? All right, so more demos, top 10 customers, study up a little bit, and get that virtual demo sale. Also, put down, check your email. You guys have already been getting some texts from the company, right? So those are great. I'm going to send you an email with how to do a virtual demo, how to do an in-home demo, links to actually watching someone doing them. Also, our Facebook page, and then some fast start tips. So I'm going to send you a link with some stuff like that. Okay, so check your email. It'll come from me, not from Vector. Okay, like my personal email. I'll send it to you soon. Cool? All right, guys.